Hey guys, welcome to 6 Minutes for Tuesday, August 23rd. Jason Fulmore, SC Russell, and today I had the opportunity to talk with Lovett head coach and current president of the Georgia Wrestling Coaches Association, Billy Maldonado. Coach Maldonado and I get into a ton of things, and I'll touch on that in just a second. But before I do so, if you aren't aware, there's a ton of stuff going on, and it's just right around the corner. Georgia Super 32 qualifier early entry tournament is a week and a half away. I think that's about right. Coach Carr's duels coming up this coming weekend. And then September gets super busy with, I'll be down at the Florida Super 32 early entry tournament as well. Coach Maldonado is going to talk about the Georgia Wrestling Coaches Association conference that is September 17th. Then we have a lights out Elite Eight duels. And then I fly out to Michigan where I'm going to cover the Grappler Fall Classic and all the Dirty South Hammers that are headed up that way for the last weekend of September, the first weekend in October. So super busy, tons of things going on. Coaches, if you happen to be watching this, I've got a coaches tab on the website, and we're going to start dropping state of the programs where we kind of highlight the different programs from around the Southeast. I'm kind of swimming in 100 different directions, got a lot going on, but there's a link there, and you'll be able to fill out a form, and it should makes it pretty easy for me to kind of take it and then be able to highlight it for you guys. So I hope you enjoy my conversation with Coach Maldonado. We touch on just a real quick thing on Lovett, and then we get into talking about the Georgia Wrestling Coaches Association and their purpose, the conference coming up, and why it's important for the coaches, to be a part of the Coaches Association across the state. And we have a great conversation. If you have any questions as it relates to where you can sign up and all that, if you can't find it in the notes below, you can definitely reach out to me or Coach Maldonado, and I can try to point you in the right direction. All right. Enjoy. Take care. Bye. Here today with Coach Billy Maldonado. Love it. Hey, how's it going, Coach?
It's going well. Yeah, it's going good. We had the students in classes the last few days, so it's been good to be normal.
Yeah, you guys, so you just started back just in the last few days?
Yes, yeah. Wednesday, we had a little orientation. In the last 2 days, we've just been doing some classes, some lectures in PE and weightlifting. So it's been good.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure everybody knows, but for those that don't, you're the head coach at Lovett, and wear a lot of different hats. But right now, you wear the hat of coaching at Lovett. And last year, you and your squad had a great season. You guys won the duels, you won the traditional, you were coach of the year, those sorts of things. And we're going to get to, I want to just cue everybody, we're going to get to talking about the reason we're here, which is the Georgia Wrestling Coaches Association and things like that. But I would be remiss if we didn't at least start and at least have a conversation just how last year went from your perspective.
It was a tale of two seasons. A lot of coaches can kind of attest to this. And we had a lot of injuries. We had a lot of kids hurt first half of the year. And then come January, the coaches and I, we're like, okay, we're going to put it all together. And we tapered at the right time. And we had an awesome group of guys, of wrestlers. Because I think we've had teams, we've had second places and third placers, but I think this team really believed that they were the best team in the state, and they went out and proved it, and in dominant fashion in a lot of sense, where we had it clinched early on, both in the duels and the traditionals. Having 7 in the finals was pretty remarkable. Having a good group of those, I think 5 of them coming back that were in the finals. So we're excited, we're pumped. And I'm just grateful for the group of guys that we have in the room.
Yeah, I was going to mention, the vast majority of your kids they're so young. They were so young last year. Was it so, I don't know, positive to see those young kids step up and own that moment?
Yeah, I mean, with our, especially our freshmen, our sophomores, and they've been in our youth program. So I've been here at Lovett for 12 years, and and working those till 9 o'clock at night with the youth, I finally, our senior, Parker Coy,
Yeah.
wrestled in our youth program, was a 2-time state champ, but also the dads of Chris Mance and Kale Kuski and those guys, their dads are our youth program. So it's finally coming to fruition with, hey, these guys, yeah, they're freshmen, but they probably have more experience than most kids that step on the mat. So
yeah, no doubt.
yeah.
No doubt. I mean, they've been there, but now they've got the Lovett across the singlet.
Yeah.
They've got the kind of an expectation. It was pretty cool to see them really grind through and get some tough wins at the end of that season.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then it's kind of cool because we have a couple seniors that were in the finals that did really well for us, and we have a junior, so and some freshmen coming in that are going to probably step in and do really well for us. So it's exciting to have a big group from freshmen to seniors to put it all together.
Very cool. Well, we are here to talk about the Georgia Wrestling Coaches Association, and you're the president, been the president for the last few years, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So for people who don't know, and I was a wrestling coach in Florida, and we had a Florida Wrestling Coaches Association. But especially like the new coaches, what is the Wrestling Coaches Association? Like, what's the purpose? What are you guys trying to do?
So our purpose is pretty much to grow the sport of wrestling in Georgia, but also help those coaches that are newer, that want that feeling of like, I don't want to be lost, because there's a lot that goes into coaching. So we have at our conference on September 17th, we have a seminar that's probably the most attended. It's for newer coaches, not just first year coaches, but newer coaches. And you'll get stuff from coaches that have been coaching for 20 years, and you'll get handouts, you'll get information on OPC and the weigh-ins and percentages, and you get a lot of knowledge that you may have to learn on the fly, but you can learn this all within our conference. So that's kind of our feel of promote the sport of wrestling in Georgia, but also help those coaches make that wrestling season a great experience for the wrestlers.
Yeah, no doubt. And you're right. I mean, you can be bombarded. I mean, you and I have been around the sport for a long time. And as a coach, when you're first coming in, you can still be bombarded by everything that's going on. The ability to have conversations with other coaches, to talk through with them.
Yes.
Kind of, I mean, and I'm talking about like coaches who have had some experience, but then brand new coaches kind of don't even know where to begin and where to kind of to act. They don't even know the questions to ask, I guess, is the thing.
Oh yeah, it's almost like it's by fire. You get thrown in, and then it's towards the end of the season, and it's 2 weeks before the season ends, and you haven't even organized your banquet yet. Right. Like you're like, oh crap, we gotta get a banquet going. So those are the kind of things we want to provide coaches with, like, hey, you got to start thinking about these things. You got to start thinking about weight descent plan. You got to think about all these other things. And we have an awesome instructor coming in. He's from the University of Purdue University, Leroy Vega, 3-time All-American from Minnesota, wrestled at the time with Brock Lesnar and Jay Robinson. And he's going to talk because he was a high school coach for a few years.
Oh, he was.
He might have won Coach of the Year in Indiana. And he's a friend of mine from when we were kids. And he's going to talk philosophy and talk, how do we get these kids out for the wrestling team and keep them out? He's going to talk about that, and he's going to give some awesome technique and drills to just give a different perspective. I don't know if we've had a Big Ten coach come in to our conference and do a seminar, so it's going to be fun and exciting.
Yeah, and again, I want to reiterate, I think it's picking up little pieces of information all along the way, whether that's how to do the descent plan or this piece of technique. And it's not just for new coaches. Like coaches who have been around for a long time can learn a great deal by that experience.
100%. I mean, you can learn from a first-year wrestler. A first-year wrestler, you can watch him wrestling or drilling, and you'll say, wow, I shouldn't teach it that way. So I should teach it this way, because he's not getting it. So when coaches say, oh, I'm too experienced, or I coached in college, or I'm a D1 All-American, I don't need to go to this conference. You may be a D1 All-American, you may be a stud wrestler, but have you ever coached a kid who's never wrestled before in the room? And how do you encourage them? Like, it's not just that. It's not what you've done. It's like, how much stuff can you learn from these awesome coaches and get a chance to just, like you said, just bump heads with each other and say, hey, how do you do this? Or what kind of drills do you do in the bottom position? So
yeah,
it's
because
cool.
the vast majority of your kids are going to be, I mean, the 95% are not going to be that elite level of kid. Yes. They're going to be, you're trying to teach them how not to reach back or 100 different things. You know what I mean?
We had to do bridging this year after the first tournament. How do you get off your back? Okay, guys, let's start. And that helped us because when it came to state duels, we didn't get pinned. We were fighting off our back,
which is huge.
That's a big point getter. So you got to be able to recognize those things and realize, oh, we haven't done bottom in a week. We need to get that. So you should implement bottom position like clockwork twice a week at least, and emphasize that, because if you don't, you're going to forget about it.
So you said it's the conference is September 17th.
Correct.
At Lassiter, is that
yes,
correct?
Lassiter High School.
So is it only for head coaches? Like, I'm an assistant coach at some school, and can I sign up for it? Can I come?
No, it's for all coaches.
Okay.
Middle school coaches, if they'd like to come, even youth coaches, if they'd like to come, we're not going to turn anybody down. And the cost of the conference is also the cost of the membership. So you'll give $40, and that will go, and it's 100%. We're a nonprofit. We're giving all this money back to the sport of wrestling. So that just goes to the membership fees that will pay for awards at the end of the year, pay for maybe a scholarship, maybe a chance to bring in more speakers, another speaker to come in. So it's all going back. Nothing. It's all transparent, and $40. It's also a virtual conference. So we're going to hopefully be able to stream it live, but also record it so that you can go back and say, oh, what did Leroy say in that one session? Oh, he said this. And I can go back and watch it and check the technique out.
Got it. But it's not solely virtual. It's
no, we want you in person.
They want you in person, but you'll have the opportunity, if you miss something or whatever, you'd be able to go and see it. So one of the things you just mentioned, really, and I want to wrap this up because I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you're teaching and that sort of thing. But one of the things that I noticed that I'm a huge proponent of is the recognition of the kids off the mat. And you guys did this last year. You recognized the kids who had a certain GPA and those sorts of things. I just really love that initiative. Is that something you're going to continue to do? And
100%.
Okay.
Yes. We want to even enhance it even more. We want to give, academic number one team. And so what we did last year, and it was open to every coach last year. This year, it's only going to be open to GWCA members, because it did cost us a lot of money, and we want to get this membership going. And we also are a voice. So if you join the GWCA, when GHSA calls, they actually call me and they say, hey, what are the coaches thinking right now? And I'll throw a poll out there. I think the coaches get sick of my polls. I think last year I did 3 or 4 polls out there. Hey, what do you guys think about, 2 days or 3 days of the state tournament? So the more people we get involved in our organization, the better we are as a group. And Don Core and the GHSA, they do listen, but it's a matter of how many numbers you have, coach. Oh, we got 150 members.
Right.
And then we could say we got a voice. So we really need the numbers to come up. We've only had a numbers of about 80 to 90. We need to get about 150. So we really feel powerful enough to say, and if your school is you can't afford, and you feel like, it's hard to get that money from your school district, just send me an email. We'll give you a free membership. The membership is just, we want you involved,
right?
But the $40 is not a lot to give to a group of guys that have the same goal, which is to make this the best sport and the best experience for your wrestlers.
Absolutely. So you actually, I don't know if you peeked over my shoulder, if you can see something, but that was actually my last question for you, is the importance of speaking with one voice, because, the GHSA, Don Court, they get bombarded by lots of different voices and everything else. And the ability for the Wrestling Coaches Association to say, this is what our membership, this is what they feel, this is how they feel about something, can you talk about the importance of, and I know you just did, but really kind of how important that is to be able to say, our members want X.
Yeah, and I've had a lot of conversations with Don, and he really does want to do what's best for the sport of wrestling, but he also has his agendas at GHSA where he's got his hands tied. So if I can say, Coach, 95% of the people that polled said they want 2 days at state, not 3, for many reasons, of financially or parents or family.
Right.
And he gets the idea. You're right, Billy. It makes sense. But when I don't have a leg to stand on, and he says, you don't have the background with the number of coaches that are applying or part of your organization, then he doesn't have to listen.
Yeah.
He listens to the 2 or 3 people that call and complain. And he's like, Billy, what's up with this school? Why are they calling and complaining? I'm like, Don, this is what our organization thinks. That's
Right.
what this person thinks. And we can have something to stand on. And we've done okay. People complain about GHSA and the state tournament, but when you're hosting 8 tournaments in one building,
I know,
one weekend, it's pretty remarkable what we do.
Right.
And people are saying it needs to be better, and it does. But we also have to think about what the big problem is, and there's just too many tournaments. So
yeah. How do people get involved? Like where do they go to sign up? I can put it in the notes below. Where do they go?
Well, we do have a website, the Grappler, the Georgia Grappler. We have a little side note on the corner, and it GWCA tab. We'd love to, if I could send you the link.
Yeah.
They can go to SC Wrestle, and they can open up. And what you will do is it's a link that will register you for the conference. So just register for the conference and pay the fees. And if you don't attend, but you'll have the access virtually, and you'll have the access of the bank for later. So they'll just get a link. And if they want to contact me, it's very easy. billy.maldonado@lovett.org. And I will send them whatever piece they need.
That sounds great, Coach. I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're busy with school starting and everything else, but I hope you guys have a great conference. Maybe I can even drop in and kind of check it out. So
we would love for you to stop by. You could do some quick tidbits with some of the coaches there if you want to do a quick interview, or Leroy Vega will be there, and we'd love for you to stop by and check it out if you can.
All right. I appreciate it, Coach. Thank you so much.